Hello and welcome to the national debate. I'm Madhavdas Gopalkrishnan. Viewers, is the Congress Khatakhat model unraveling before your own eyes? We ask you this because the recent developments within the party and their governments do not paint a very good picture. In the state of Karnataka, we've witnessed the Siddaramaiah versus DK Shivkumar tussle literally play out in the open in the past week. Both leaders have claimed that they are united. But this message does not seem to be trickling down to the leaders in their respective camps. Then there are those who are calling out their own government in Karnataka for corruption and admitting that they do not have the funds for development due to the exorbitant spending on guarantee schemes. But Karnataka cannot be seen in isolation. Over the last few months, the party has faced several high-profile electoral defeats. Many of them were blamed on infighting within the party. In Haryana, for instance, many call the Congress election one to lose, and yet they did quite emphatically. In Maharashtra, experts say their political campaign was quite disconnected, which ultimately resulted in an almighty drubbing. In Jammu and Kashmir, there are calls within their own party now to have the state unit chief removed. So this begs the question, is Congress really its own enemy? And is the improvement we witnessed in their tally in the Lok Sabha elections just a minor glimmer of hope amidst the dwindling fortunes for the party? To talk about this, we have our panelists joining us here in the studio. We have Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate of the Supreme Court. Advocate Harsh Daya, political analyst, is with us. We have with us also Advocate Nikhil Jain, political analyst. Ashutosh Mishra is a senior journalist joining us. Renu Mittal, senior journalist, is with us as well. And joining us all the way from Bengaluru are Ashok K.M. Gowda, who's a spokesperson of the BJP there in Karnataka. Also with us is T.R. Prasad Gowda, leader of the Congress party, joining us from Bengaluru as well. Let's quickly take this across to the first point that we are debating at the moment. If we can quickly bring up on screen what is really the issue in terms of what's happening in Karnataka. Now, we've seen, for instance, Congress MLA B.R. Patil come out and admit to graft in house allotment. This is an open statement that has been made by not just one MLA. He has, of course, referred to housing, a charge that we've seen Zamir Ahmed come out and deny when it comes to this particular instance. If we can quickly get the next set of graphics up on the screen. And those, of course, are the various other instances we're talking about. Congress MLA Kage has threatened to resign because he says that 25 crores was allotted, but it was not given to him. Despite that allotment letter, he claims that there is administrative paralysis happening within the state unit. Bihar Gopalkrishnan, another leader, has demanded Zamir Ahmed's resignation. This is the third such instance that we've seen in recent days, clearly being seen as fighting between the camps that's playing out in the open, with leaders coming out and talking about this. These are the mounting headaches for Siddaramaiah. On the one hand, there are allegations of corruption. On the other hand, there's lack of funds, and multiple MLAs have admitted that there are no funds for development. There's also the third and the larger issue as November draws closer. It's the halfway mark for the 5-year tenure when there is a chorus for CM change, and several of those leaders and voices coming out in the public domain as well. Who has said what? We've seen Randeep Surjewala meet several of the MLAs and come out to say that there's no change in leadership, and also adding the caveat that at least for the next 2-3 months, we've seen Iqbal Hussain, Congress's MLA, come out and say that 200% DK Shivkumar will be the chief minister. He's also claimed that there are over 100 MLAs who want that. What have we seen Siddaramaiah come out to say? He says that he will continue for the entire tenure of 5 years. Iqbal Hussain again coming out to say that there's a need for change if the Congress wants to be in power in Karnataka. We've seen DK Shivkumar saying that Siddaramaiah will remain chief minister following all of those meetings. Iqbal Hussain, of course, saying that we need good administration as a contrast to that. So that's as far as what's happening in Karnataka and how things are currently playing out. Let's quickly take this across to our guests joining us. Let me start with you first. Ashutosh, what exactly is happening? There are obviously differences within the party. It's not every day that we see, almost every day in Karnataka, one MLA comes out, talks about a ministerial change. There's another one that will ask for the KPCC chief to be changed. Third one will say that we need the chief minister change. What's going on? This is a recipe for chaos in one of the states which has been one of the strongholds of the Congress.
What you see here is when people speak out against their own party, maybe BJP and such parties where there is dictatorship are left wondering what's happening. It's these people who bring that democratic setup to the party. If they can speak up. I think you yourself just showed that Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar have settled the matter once and for all. This
but also this is indiscipline within the party. If your own chief minister is being questioned day after day, it takes away from the credibility. In whichever state, it doesn't matter if it happens in the BJP or a Congress state, it takes away from the credibility and basic party discipline, doesn't it?
And Shiv Kumar has warned these people that if you speak out of turn in public, you will be pulled up. So there will always be this sort of people in every party. In Karnataka itself, BJP had to expel 2 MLAs. And it's part of BJP's strategy to keep hammering at Congress just so that their own failure south of India's is not rejected. I mean, they have been rejected there, and so that it is not caught. And Karnataka is a sore point for them, because remember last time also they didn't form the government, it was Congress and JDS, and Operation Kamal can't work this time. So this is the way they try to discredit a party which is functioning. You talk about lack of funds. Lack of funds is happening everywhere. In Maharashtra, they have cut down they had promised that instead of 1,500, they will pay 2,000 rupees. But now they are paying only 500 rupees in that Ladki Behna scheme. No, and just a minute. You talk about corruption. In Madhya Pradesh, the Jal Jeevan Mission, the chief engineer has ordered an inquiry against the minister there.
We'll come to Madhya Pradesh. Let's go one by one. In Karnataka, we've seen a CBI probe being announced in Valmiki. That certainly is not good news for the party. But let me bring in Ishkaran on those 2 points that he has made. He says that when it comes to guarantees, the track record in other states is there to see. Even in Maharashtra, they've cut down funds, so don't single out Karnataka for this. And this is, democracy within the Congress that we're seeing. That doesn't exist in BJP. Your response to him?
There is a difference between anarchy and democracy. When the number 1 and number 2 are publicly fighting or having a proxy fight. And for Congress, this is not the first time. We have to see the entire modus of how state by state this happens. Punjab, it was an all-out fight between Captain Amrinder Singh, Navjot Singh Sidhu and 20 other factions. What happened there? They collapsed. Then what happened in Haryana? There was a fight going on with Mr. Huda will be the chief minister, Madam Kumari Shailja will be the chief minister. What happened? They were wiped out. Then you go to Rajasthan, where for maybe 15-20 days, the entire government had to stay in a 5-star with a fight between Mr. Ashok Gehlot and Mr. Sachin Pilot. So that is not democracy. That is a lack of coordination. There is no belief in a high command, because the high command is not there based on merit. Even the party president has to call as somebody else as a high command, and that peters down. So when you have a fight going on between a chief minister, a deputy chief minister, or a major cabinet minister, that paralyzes the entire administration, because it will not be restricted only to a Congress MLA coming out and speaking. What is happening in the bureaucracy? Bureaucracy also has favorites. Bureaucracy also wants to implement certain things, not implement certain things. So the paralysis or a fight at top has a devastating effect on the entire state. That is why it needs to be discussed, because what is happening, what was promised, what the corruption allegations are. And by the way, to say it is democracy, it is a corruption allegation by your own MLA on your own party. That is not democracy.
Okay, let me bring in our panelists from Bengaluru as well. T.R. Prasad Gowda, what's happening here? You have Raju Kage, you have B.R. Patil, you have Belur Gopalakrishna, and all of them are leveling these charges, T.R. Prasad Gowda, of corruption, of demanding the removal of ministers. If it was one odd voice, one can understand and you can justify it. But there are series of such voices coming in. Someone says Jarkioli should be chief minister, someone says someone else should be KPCC chief. What's going on?
No, nobody is claiming for the removal of the chief minister. Maybe they have some grievances.
Iqbal Hussain, what did Iqbal Hussain say?
Grievances are all. Iqbal Hussain is he wanted, of course, D.K. Shivakumar should be the chief minister of Karnataka. But there are MLAs, because D.K. Shivakumar is a good organizer and a good administrator also. And that is out of love towards, Shivakumar is climbing. He should be. That doesn't mean that.
But his love for Shivakumar means that he wants Siddaramaiah to go out. That is a clear demand that he is making.
No. Listen, Madhavanji, listen. Now, end of the day, party will take a decision who should be the chief minister. End of the day, our party Supremo will take the decision who should be the chief minister. Though now they have decided, Siddaramaiah will be the chief minister for the rest of the time. So there is no confusion at all. Now we are only concentrating upon the developmental activity. All the guarantees are going on, and even the developmental activities are going on. The small grievances will be there with the MLAs. They already sorted out. Now we are only concentrating on the how to another 3 years, 2.5 years, how to do the developmental activity in the state of Karnataka, and we have been maybe in during 2028 also. We will come back to the power.
Okay, you believe you will come back to power. These are just small grievances, Mr. Ashok Gowda. Why are you getting upset? We will sort it out with the party high command. In fact, I'm going to come to that point because you said the party leadership will decide. Who is the leadership is also under question here with Mr. Kharge's statement. But Ashok Gowda, respond to that. He says these are small grievances coming out. The governance is going on very well in Karnataka.
Whoever becomes the chief minister of Karnataka, whether it is DK Shivkumar, Parmeshwar, Priyanka Kharge, or anybody else, it's not a matter of concern for anybody. But the governance in Karnataka is suffering. Why? Because they are indulged in 7-star hotel stays, they are indulged in pulling each other's leg, and they are not able to concentrate on their own portfolio. Let me give you 2 examples. In BBMP, which is under DK Shivkumar, there is a proxy. If I'm an officer, my son is going and working. And if I'm an officer, my volunteers are going and working. This is what is happening. Because of this, whether it is irrigation department, whether it is exercise department, any other department, all the 34 ministries are not functioning properly, and all are indulged in corruption, and they are having luxurious life. 90 cabinet ranks have been given in Karnataka. Let's remember that. And they have money to give it 90 cabinet ranks. They don't have money to give for guarantees. And potholes in Karnataka, in Bangalore city, has not been filled. Even the MLA said, I think Raju Kage or somebody said, there is no money even for cleaning up the stormwater drains. Forget about anything else. Cleaning up the stormwater drain. This is what is happening in Karnataka. And because of the infight between DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah, and as DK Shivkumar had said in one of the programs, that the contract is already made. I am going to be the chief minister in the later part of the government. Whoever becomes the chief minister, that is not our concern. But our concern is Karnataka is going backwards. 4,15,000 crores was a budget. 3,15 crores has been borrowed from the past 26 months, and taxes have been raised. Taxes and services have been raised, and because of it, the total collection in Karnataka is 4,15,000 crores, but not even a single penny is the people of Karnataka.
I defer with the statements of
No, Prasadji, when you are speaking, I kept quiet. Please let's acknowledge the debate.
Yeah, when you are speaking, conclude your point, Mr. Gowda. Conclude your point.
Out of this 4,50,000 crores, which is the extra additional income, including the debt and the tax rise, Kannadigas are not getting a single penny. But High Command in Congress party is taking away the money. Whenever Surjewala visits, he asks only one question: what is my share? Where is my share? And he takes that money.
All right. That is of course a charge that that's a political charge. I'm not going to get into that, but I will give talk about what Nikhil Jain was stated by the Chief Minister's own economic advisor, Mr. Basavaraj Rai Reddy. He says that Karnataka is the most corrupt state. When you have the CM's advisor saying as much on record, what is left to the imagination?
Did he say that the Congress is the most corrupt party? Did he say that Siddaramaiah is the most corrupt chief minister? See, Madhav, we have to understand that corruption in this country is an endemic problem. Whether the BJP rules, Congress rules, Aam Aadmi Party rules, or any party rules, corruption exists in this country all the way from a Havaldar to the chief minister.
So you agree with Mr. Rai Reddy?
I'm not saying I'm agreeing with him, not agreeing with him. What I'm saying is that corruption is an issue that needs to be tackled. Every single political party tries to tackle it. Some, of course, like the BJP, want to institutionalize it and bring it in the form of electoral bonds or crony capitalism or whatever. But the fact is that every party tries to battle corruption, as is this party doing.
This is a very unique way of battling corruption where you blame each other within your own party.
No.
You can blame the BJP. BJP blames Congress is what I've seen. It's a very unique way of battling corruption.
First of all,
I haven't seen this.
First of all, several of the things being said by Congress leaders in Karnataka that you're using to show that there is instability in the Karnataka government are not allegations of corruption. They are statements of fact that the government does not have funds. Why does the government not have funds?
Belur Gopalkrishnan is asking for Zamir's resignation. What basis is he asking? On the basis of corruption. Bihar Patil is saying that housing there is a scam. Over 950 houses were wrongly allotted. No, because you said this is not corruption. I am giving you the facts.
I am saying some of the statements by leaders, not all of these statements, but some of these statements. Okay, all right. But many of the statements are also pointing to the fact that the state is suffering a budget crunch, and that budget crunch is on account of the fact that the center is refusing to pay GST dues to the state. As of right now, more than 3,000 crores of GST dues are pending with the state, and it's very well for the BJP to wax eloquent about aapne potholes nahi fix kare, ye nahi kara, wo nahi kara. Look at the state of Delhi, look at the state of Maharashtra. We are seeing pictures of sinkholes coming up every day in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi also. You see the terrible condition of roads. Let's focus on things that matter instead of talking about kaun CM banega, kaun nahi banega.
Definitely we should focus on things that matter. Once again, let me take your argument at face value that there are 3,000 odd crores that the centre has not given. What is the budget for the guarantees? Tell us.
Madhav, every penny counts. We are not see BJP. Hold on.
As a proportion, Nikhil Jain, even you will admit it pales into insignificance.
Now,
it pales into insignificance.
All right.
As a proportion compared to the guarantees for the dues from centre. Is there a comparison?
Did you ask the same question to the BJP spokesperson when he raised the point about...
Of course, we will ask them.
Right now, he raised the point about 20 people have been given cabinet rank. The state has so much money for this. Ask him how much money is spent.
You answer my question, I will ask him two questions like this. You answer my question though. Answer the question.
90.
80. Whatever. All right. I don't think there's any answers coming in there. So Advocate Harsh Dahia, I want him to come in and quickly coming across to you as well. Respond to his point. He says that centre is not giving dues and that is why there is a problem in Karnataka.
Madhav, you asked a very fantastic question to my friend Nikhil Jain, that what is the budget of the guarantees? Is it 3,000 crores or it is 30,000 crores? So let's say the centre is not giving them 3,000 crores, but what are they doing with the additional budget? Where do they have that? Itni inhone guarantees apna wo bata di hain ki hum ye karenge, wo karenge, but they are unable to do anything. They are unable to fulfill any of their promises. And you know the funny thing, Madhav, is that have you seen the show Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones starts whenever Congress comes to power in any of the states. And you know who the Jon Snow is? That's Rahul Gandhi. He knows nothing. He's naive, he's megalomaniac, and he's totally unfit to run a national party. उन्हें यही समझ में नहीं आता कि अपनी पार्टी को कैसे चलाएं. You know, Kharge does the posturing that he holds the power, but we all know it is the Firoz Gandhi family which holds the real power. So when they say कि leadership will take the decision, which leadership?
High command.
I'm coming to that point.
That's one of our debating points. I'm coming to that entire point, but larger question at time of crisis, where's Rahul Gandhi? Renu Mittal.
You see, this is the entire crux of the matter. I think corruption is not an issue that one should really get deeply into because all parties are the same. What we have to look at is the leadership. Is the leadership able to handle the problems rising within the state? Kharge ji himself is from Karnataka. He has a vested interest. When he says High Command will decide, is he telling Sitaramaiah that look, you look after me, I look after you, so I am the High Command so-called and you are there as the Chief Minister, so let's both look after each other's interests. Then there is this Mr. Surjewala who is in charge. He got so close to DK Shiv Kumar that Sitaramaiah had to complain against him. You see, when the guys who are supposed to be neutral umpires become party to crisis and to the running of a state, then it creates more problems than it solves. This is happening in state after state where you find the General Secretary in charge becomes aligned to the guys in power. Now DK Shiv Kumar is the guy with the money. He calls the shots. But Rahul Gandhi wanted Sitaramaiah. So when the meeting took place to finalize the Chief Minister, they said first Sitaramaiah and then DK Shiv Kumar after two. So what did Mr. DK Shiv Kumar say? He said, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, what happened in Telangana? What happened to DS Singhvio? Singhvio was left out in the cold and Mr. Mughal continued. So he says, what about your promises that you make which are not fulfilled? He said it on his face. Now the same thing is happening. Mr. Sitaramaiah is now looking at bringing down the government in October if there is a leadership change in November. This is the actual crisis facing the party. That's why these pulls and pressures are happening. That's why the guys are looking at, putting on the pressure to say that Rahul Gandhi does not change his mind because he's got 1 minute. Can I finish, please?
Make a point.
He's got this caste fixation, which, everybody knows he has. The point is that beyond a point, he has to look at other factors also in the party. And then there is a Mr. Venugopal.
So he's pulling one lever too much. He's pulling on one lever a little too much. That's your point of view.
Who is a super boss in the party. He takes most of the decisions. So you don't have a single line of command.
Right.
You don't have discipline. So these are all fallouts of that where MLAs will speak out, where leadership doesn't know whether it's coming or going. And this is happening in a lot of states and problems are there everywhere.
Absolutely. Ishwan, quick response and then I go across to others.
Just a small response, not on Rahul Gandhi or the Congress internal crisis, because two speakers nonchalantly dismissed corruption as an issue for a common and it is a big
What about
issue.
Yedurappa? We
Entire,
are
one
talking
second,
about
let me finish,
corruption.
please.
Let's discuss
Entire 2014 election, the corruption was one of the biggest issues, and we saw what happened to Congress, or even for the rise of Aam Aadmi Party, how big a issue was corruption. So let us not in a TV debate say it's only a Game of Thrones going on between political parties, in the sense that what is DK Shivakumar doing or Siddharamaiah doing. For a common man, corruption is a big issue. And there are enough parties who seek to address it and have solved. If it had not been solved, you would not have people coming back into powers time after time again, especially in the last 20 years.
All right, let me quickly.
I never said that corruption is not an issue. I
You
said it is an issue across the country. I said it's an issue
Most of the
across the
allegations
country.
are not corruption. I said most are. You said just a few.
I was talking about the limited allegations, but I never said that corruption is not an issue.
I corrected you on the facts, sir. Okay, yeah, Renu wants to respond.
The main issue here is not corruption. It's a fallout of the way the party is being run. If you put an iron hand or if you take disciplinary action against gay guys, this will not happen.
But you will also agree that corruption is the tool that is being used. It may not, it's shadow boxing happening, and they're using these corruption allegations against each other.
When in all the southern states there is so much money, that corruption does become a big factor, whether you look at Andhra, whether you look at Telangana or Karnataka or even Tamil Nadu, leaving aside Kerala, your state, which is one of the better ones off. So the point is that this is not the main issue. It's a fallout of what exactly is happening within the party. You know, where there's no control, no checks and balances. And if the center uses these states as ATM, because Congress has very few states left. So they need the money to run the party, to hold elections and this and that. So that becomes a big problem.
Congress is using Karnataka as an ATM, says Renu Mittal, and that is what is the crux of the problem. We've seen this sort of a situation arise in other states as well. And ultimately, the corruption may be, you know, the issue that's being discussed, but it's the infighting that's causing all of this to come out in the open. Your response, quickly, T.R. Prasad Gowda.
No, Congress is never using, our Karnataka state as a ATM. That is we will not agree with this statement. They are making this statement for just to, they feel happy by making this statement. But it is not the fact. The fact of the matter is,
you do not contribute
we are,
to the party's funds or resources at the center? Officially?
No, one second, sir. Sir, 1 second. Madhavanji, please, sir, listen to me. When you give me the time, I have to respond to you. See, we are the second highest taxpayer to the country's exchequer, and the country, central government is not paying us back, and sometimes we will stand first while paying the tax to the country. But we are not. When they have to pay back to the state of Karnataka, they have stepmother. They have shown stepmother.
Sir, how much is the due? How much is the due for Karnataka?
They will do this kind of.
How much is the due from center to Karnataka?
Sir, we have been telling more than 24,000 crores.
Okay.
Is still due to the state of Karnataka.
And my question, once again, the same question asked Nikhil Jain. What is the budget for the guarantees in Karnataka?
See, 55,000 crores allotted for the guarantees.
So that proves my point once again. 24 and 55, there's again no comparison. It's less than half. Even if I'm going to take your argument at face value, it is less than half, Mr. T.R. Prasad Gowda.
Still we are managing, and we are doing the developmental activity also. And we are not asking, see,
where is the developmental activity? Your own MLAs are asking. Mr. Raju Kage and others are asking, where is the developmental activity?
No, sir, we are doing it. And we are giving sufficient grant to all the MLAs. They have already got it. Even the opposition MLAs are all getting it. Now, maybe another 2 to 3 days, I will give you all the details.
Ashok Gowda, respond to him. Our opposition MLA is getting the sanctioned development funds.
They are getting it, sir. They are getting
Ashok Gowda, respond.
Sir, what is the point is very simple. Nitin Jain said 3,000 crores and Prasad Gowda says 24,000 crores. Actual fact is, center has almost given the entire money. That's a different leave. Let me leave that. But almost 12,500 crores, which the employee's salary. Prasad ji, please. 12,500 crores, employee's salary have not been paid.
He's responding to Mr. Prasad Gowda.
And contractual employees have not been paid. Even the forest contractual employees have not been paid. PF and gratuity is pending in Karnataka, and this is the fact of the matter. And as well, let me tell you, CSA central state funded schemes are there in Karnataka as in the entire India is there. In railways, they have not given budgets. Karnataka has not given its share. In Ayushman, they have not given their share. Forget about all these things. Livestock mission, they have not given share. And even the street vendor schemes or the skill development scheme where the state has to fund 1,200 crores, that has not been given. That has not been Karnataka's state government share has not been given. And leave all these things. For healthcare sector, in especially maternity related deaths when it was happening, we studied 15 schemes are there wherein central funds the state. And believe me, it was a shock for us. Less than 15% of the funds were utilized where the center completely funds. So this shows that lack of administration skills in the health department and even by the CM. So this is what is failing Karnataka, not anything else.
I'm going to come to the next point. One second, Mr. Gowda, let me come in now. I'm going to come to the next talking point, and this is also related to Karnataka before we bring out the national picture. Very quickly, what really I have been seeing as far as the entire issue of the Khatakhat model. This is the trouble in Karnataka. The first admission is that we don't have funds, even Siddaramaiah doesn't. This has been stated by Mr. Parmeshwar. Then you have Bihar Patil Congress MLA admitting to corruption in the state of Karnataka. We have Gopalkrishnan, who's also a Congress MLA, who comes out to say that there is lack of development in the state. This is admission number 3. Admission 4, the state administration has failed, says Raju Kage. These are some of the statements that we were discussing earlier as well. Admission 5, Belur Gopalkrishnan, who comes out to say that he's accused the Congress minister Zamir Ahmed of graft. Admission 6, Basavaraj Rai Reddy corruption, not just in our party. This is the justification that has come in from Basavaraj Rai Reddy. But what are the exact graft charges that we're talking about? The first, of course, has been that the houses were given to only those who paid bribes. This is the charge of Bihar Patil. He says, if I open my mouth, the government will be shaken. Mind you, this is a Congress MLA saying that he will never get evidence of bribes being exchanged, but that if he opens his mouth, it will make a huge difference. He's referring to 950 houses allotted after taking of bribes. This is, of course, another shocker coming in. He says, my recommendation letters are being ignored. He says there's preference being given to Gram Panchayat president over me. This is a statement of an MLA. He says he decided to raise this against his own minister, but has come out and spoken in the public domain. Let's look at the guarantees as well. How have the guarantees really done on ground? 2,000 crores has been given as far as the Grih Lakshmi scheme is concerned to women in the BPL category. This was the promise that was given. The reality is that the last installment paid was in March. Several months have passed since then. Annabhagya scheme, the guarantee was that 5 kgs rice to BPL families. The reality is that rice swapped with 34 rupees a kilogram, and 34 rupees per kilogram compensation was paid after 5 months. So this is as far as the implementation is concerned. In 2023, tariff hiked by 2.89 per unit above 200 units. This is for the Grih Jyoti scheme. The guarantee there was free power below 200 units as well. Let's move on to the next one that we have. In fact, this is 2025, where electricity tariff was reduced by 10 paise per unit in the scheme, but fixed charges on monthly bills were upped by 25 rupees. In the Yuva Nidhi scheme as well, the guarantee was 3,000 a month stipend for unemployed youth. Only 1.74 lakh out of 5.5 lakh benefited, which is around 31% of those eligible. And of course, this is the Shakti scheme that has much been talked about. Free bus travel for women, implemented at the cost of 8.84 crore rupees. Other commuters pay additional 15% for the ticket to perhaps cross-subsidize this entire cost. This is, of course, a promise that has been given. In reality, a lot of chaos that we've seen on ground. So effectively this scheme, Nikhil Jain, has made things free for women members of a family, but the male members cross-subsidize it.
First of all, we are talking about budget numbers, so let me give you that. 2023 to 24 budget numbers for Karnataka is 3,27,000 crores, and the entire narrative in the media, especially from the BJP, is that Karnataka government is not able to function because of this Khatakhat model, because of these welfare schemes. The budget allocation for these welfare schemes is 35,410 crores. So that is basically 11% of the total budget goes towards these social welfare schemes. By the way, these are schemes that the Congress may have taken to a whole new level in the state of Karnataka. But these are schemes that are announced by every single party, including the BJP. There they don't find a problem with that. And personally, I support these schemes, whether the BJP or the Congress or the Aam Aadmi Party, whoever announces it. Again, we're talking about the cost of electricity rising beyond the consumption of 200 units. What was the promise? The promise was under 200 units, it's going to be free. The promise wasn't that no increase in rate of electricity would be there. So that's perfectly kosher. And let's understand who consumes more than 200 units of electricity. If you, I'll have to dig up the data on that, but I'm quite sure it's not more than 15%.
That's happened in states like Delhi. When they promised free electricity, there was free electricity for slabs. They didn't hike the rates like this.
In Delhi also the rates were increased. In Delhi also the rates were increased. In Delhi also the rates were increased. Also we have to understand that the households consuming more than 200 units of electricity definitely fall within the top 15%. And you can't have a system where any government comes and says, I'm going to give XYZ things for free to 80% of the population, but no prices would be increased for the remaining 20% either.
Why making the promises? If it can't be implemented, then why make that promise? That's the question.
You yourself said that the promises are being implemented.
March was the last time. March was the last time the subsidy was given. In one of them. Yes.
No,
and when
Harsh, welfare schemes like that do not exist for people like you and me.
One by one. Okay, one by one. Yeah.
People are paying more than others.
You understand
that is not a welfare scheme.
That's the very idea and model of a welfare state, that the people with greater means subsidize.
No, that is a very flawed idea. Anyone on this panel would agree.
You may not like
that is a very flawed idea that 80% of the people, as per your data, are being subsidized, and 20%.
We live in a welfare state. We live in a welfare state under the BJP. We live in a welfare state under the Congress.
But is BJP, in BJP ruled states, no such things are happening. Like they have announced welfare schemes which their budget allows.
Okay. It is about being able to afford the schemes. That's not. If you promise the board Renu Mittal, you will not be able to implement it.
The economy in this doesn't work. Anything that's given free beyond a point, no state government is able to sustain it because you don't have the kind of resources that you need to put all these schemes on the ground. Now, I think the courts will finally have to intervene to stop this nonsense, because state after state. In Delhi, which was a hugely surplus budget state, what happens after all the freebies were given? That, the entire economy crashed. This is happening in every state. Maharashtra, they're not able to deliver what they've promised. So this is the state of affairs everywhere. Now, unless governments sit down and political parties decide that they're not going to do it, this will be the result of it. Why are we cobbling over Congress and BJP? They're all in the same boat.
Okay, all parties are in the same boat. That's a charge coming. Ishkal, I want you to respond to that. Are some being a little more, generous, or perhaps being a little too charitable, which is impacting their own finances? That's the question that arises.
Madhav, there are two aspects. Today I'll come to Karnataka leader. Of course, we cannot have a Venezuela model where you give everything free. It will lead to an economic collapse. The problem is when the Khatakhat model starts, then it becomes a competitive politics and politicians have to come to power. So that is a deep problem which is arising in Indian system, and we need to address it. But when you talk about Karnataka, we have to understand there is a difference. That is why I started with it. You have a multiple organ failure. The failure is at multiple levels. If the chief minister and the deputy chief minister are fighting, if the home minister comes out and gives statements like this, if you have MLAs questioning the leadership, then you have the problem which starts arising in bureaucracy, because that will not be discussed. But it's not only the MLAs that fight. Then bureaucracy has its favorites, how the schemes are implemented, whom they want to report to, whom they want to have in power, who decides the entire state policy. That all becomes a problem, and that is the reason you do not need to have fight at the leadership level. But unfortunately for Congress, this is not the first state. We maybe not have been discussing Karnataka if it was the first state. We saw what happened in Rajasthan, where a deputy chief minister had to resign, and then the chief minister had to call him names and impose cases also, if I remember correctly. We saw Chhattisgarh, we saw Punjab, we've seen Haryana. That is the problem, where the people suffer. Doesn't matter who Rahul Gandhi decides to be the chief minister. The people suffering, that is the problem.
People are suffering at the end of the day, and that is an issue. Ashutosh, respond to that.
So, two things I would like to say. First of all, we are talking about welfare state. Even Narendra Modi is implementing it. And he uses money from GST and everything to implement. He initially, when Narendra Modi had come, he had mocked Manrega. He had mocked what Rahul Gandhi at that time called Nyay. Nyay was that Abhijit Banerjee proposed system where welfare schemes were implemented. But ultimately, the people of the power forced Narendra Modi to take a U-turn, and he has adopted most of the things. And when I talk about Narendra Modi, it's about BJP as a whole, because they seek vote in the name of Modi, so I say Narendra Modi. So that is now part and parcel, not just of India, but the world over, where the rich have to take care of the poor. There is nothing bad in that. There is nothing, I mean, it will be good for the society as a whole. So we have to bear that.
As long as it's budgeted, as long as it's within limited. Nobody has a problem with the welfare state. The problem is when you take that a little too far beyond what you can afford. And as he said, you can't have a Venezuela model.
Yeah, so let me explain that. You were talking about rice. If you remember, in Karnataka, what happened? Narendra Modi told FCI not to sell rice to Karnataka so that it could fulfill its rice promise. We have spoken about that on your debate much at that time also. So this is the problem here, that instead of the center helping states, they try to find ways to hamper them.
Okay.
It's politics. And one more thing I want to say. My co-panelist was saying that talking about corruption, that people have accepted corruption. No, people haven't. 2014, Narendra Modi and Arvind Kejriwal came to power because people didn't like corruption. And just 1 minute. And today, Narendra Modi stands reduced to 240 odd seats because of all the allegations that Rahul Gandhi has been making. They have stuck. That's why his Mangalsutra khatre mein.
Okay. I want the BJP spokesperson to come in.
Last
one line, please.
Caste census is something which BJP had been opposing.
So many points as one go. Let's just have a debate. One by one. You made many points. Iskaran quickly, and then I'll go across to Ashok Gowda. Quick comment from Iskaran. On corruption. 1 second. You made a point on corruption, and then
that is what the last line symbolizes the entire Congress problem, wherein a party who wins the third election at 240 seats, where you got 99, is called as, oh, he's lost, he's reduced to. Please, that narrative was good for 5 days. After Haryana, Maharashtra,
you are accepting his policies. You are following Rahul Gandhi had propagated, and you are opposed.
Sir, Ashutosh, you will also agree that you have to form a government to implement those policies. Whether at the center or the 5 seconds, there is a problem there. Let's admit there is a problem. Intention may be wonderful, but you have to win an election in our political system. Let's go one by one. Yeah, quick, conclude your point.
See, what you are saying is even a worse problem. Let's imagine 1 or 2 odd ideas of Rahul Gandhi are right, yet people reject him. That means they don't trust him to that level, even if they like his idea. That is a bigger problem what you're speaking right now.
Okay, Ashok Gowda, respond to that. The center didn't allow implementation of the Anna Bhagya scheme, and therefore you proved to be hurdles in terms of the implementation. That's why we have a problem in Karnataka. Please respond to Ashok.
He does not know the facts. That when the state government wrote a letter to the central government, they said that currently we are holding this much of stock and we will be able to provide you at this rate, 32 rupees, in the coming month. And that was the letter which was written from the center. And please, on the national media, don't lie so publicly that people will laugh at you. And if you don't know the facts, please keep quiet. And that is my request. And let me tell you to the Nitin Jain, what he was saying is dead. See, capital investment in Karnataka, last budget, that is 25-26 budget, 33,000 crores was allotted. Out of 3,75,000 crores. Out of 33,000 crores, contractors have received only 18,000 crores. Department received only 22,000 crores. So what is the percentage?
Yeah, T.R. Prasad Gowda, you want to respond to that? These are all false claims that are repeatedly being made as far as the BJP is concerned and the center is concerned. This is just being done to save face for the Congress government in the state. Quick response.
All the guarantees are running smoothly, and we are paying to the all the beneficiaries. They know, beneficiaries know there is a good rapport with the people and the government, and we are also equally doing all the developmental activities. And contractors, very honestly, they are getting their payment. No, there is no middleman now.
So they're coming out of the public domain to object. Youth has not got its full share, and there are several other schemes also that haven't been implemented. Let's quickly go across to the next point, though, that we are debating on the show today. Let's quickly, in fact, bring out the other issues. It's not just the governance. It's not the issue of CM change. It's not just the issue of corruption that has come out in the public domain, but there are also larger questions for the Congress that have been raised to some extent by some of our panelists. Let's look at what's happened in Karnataka. It's constant buzz over the possibility of CM change in the state. That is, of course, raising questions about what really is the future of the state government there in Karnataka. This is, of course, as far as Karnataka is concerned. Congress leaders have admitted to corruption within the state government. We've discussed that. Let's also quickly bring out the next state we're talking about in Jammu and Kashmir. There's growing clamor for Jammu and Kashmir Congress chief Kara's removal there. Local leaders have demanded a separate party unit for Jammu. We've seen Himachal Pradesh, where the state Congress unit was dissolved in November 2024 amidst the infighting that was seen. There's a constant tussle scene there between Pratibha Singh and Sukhwinder Sukhu's camps there in Himachal. In Haryana, the infighting is seen as a major reason for the Haryana poll defeat between Bhupinder Singh Hooda and Kumari Selja camps, which has hurt the prospects of the Congress party. In Maharashtra, multiple chief ministerial aspirants hurt the prospects in the assembly polls is one point of view. Nana Patole, largely isolated by senior netas during the course of the campaign in the state, is one of the points. Now, this is, of course, a larger, let's also, of course, bring up the point of what really is the High Command's role. High Command will decide on CM change. That's a statement of Mallikarjun Kharge that has set the cat amongst the pigeons. Is the Congress chief not the High Command? What really is he saying in terms of nobody can say what's going to happen in the High Command? These are the kind of statements that have been coming in. High Command has a power to take action, and if that raises a question as to who really calls the shots within the Congress party. Nikhil Jain, who is the High Command? Is it Rahul Gandhi? Is it the CWC? Is it Sonia Gandhi? Or it should be Mallikarjun Kharge as the Congress president, one would imagine.
It's a collective body. It's the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha and Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, chairperson of the parliamentary board of the party, Sonia Gandhi, and depending on which state we're talking about, the General Secretary in charge of that state. So if it's for Karnataka, you would have Randeep Singh Surjewala. If it is for Chhattisgarh, you would have Sachin Pilot. And of course, the General Secretary organization. Congress party is one that works in a consultative mechanism. That is why we have been discussing about Congress MLAs and ministers making statements against their own government. Something a dictatorial one-man all-show party like the BJP can never even imagine. That is how a democracy is supposed to be.
Okay.
It's a consultative process within a collective body.
It could also be seen as anarchy. It could also be seen as indiscipline and anarchy. The way in which the statements are being made, asking for CM to be removed, repeatedly, while like we've seen, these are also statements that will raise questions. But you're admitting that Mr. Kharge as Congress president doesn't take the call.
No,
Mr. Kharge doesn't take the calls within the Congress. That's what you're admitting.
Mr. Kharge is a part of the body that takes the calls. It's not one-man show.
One by one. Mr. Kharge as Congress president is part of the body. This is how internal democracy in Congress functions. Mr. Daya.
We all know the answer to that. We know who's calling the shot. We all know who the High Command is. There should be no debate on that. Like, you know, in our hearts, we are very sure who the High Command is. That's Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi and probably to some extent Priyanka Gandhi. Madhav, the main concern or the main point that should be discussed is what is the larger problem at hand. The larger problem at hand is that there are two national parties and they have contrasting difference between them. BJP, if I ask you what BJP stands for, you will be able to answer me clearly. You know what the ideology of BJP is. But if I ask you today what the ideology of Congress is, there is no ideology. On one hand, we have Rahul Gandhi, who is catering to extreme left politics, and then we have national leaders like Shashi Tharoor, Manish Tiwari and Salman Khurshid, who are right-leaning centrists. So there is no consensus between the party, what their ideology is, what they stand for, and what their policy should be. And when there is such kind of paralysis in the party leadership, then this is the result of that, because there is no central leadership wherein, you know, they can decide. There could be consensus between the leaders.
Okay.
What needs to happen?
Let me bring in Renu Mittal. Renu Mittal, there's ideological disparity within the party.
He's totally gone off track. I'm sorry to say it, whatever his ideology may be. The fact is that Rahul Gandhi is the supreme leader. He is a de facto president of the party, but he does not want to take responsibility and come out in front. After the way that he was, under his leadership, the party was defeated, he resigned, they wanted another, he made a statement, there will be nobody from the Gandhi family as the head of the party. But that was later turned when Sonia Gandhi was persuaded to become the Congress president temporarily. That state of affairs lasted for quite a while. After that, you know, they found Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. He is a good man. 9-term MLA, but he doesn't have any power in his hands. Whatever list he proposes, Mr. Venugopal disposes. Because he has the power of attorney of Rahul Gandhi.
Okay.
See, the point is that there is...
Ashutosh is smiling to that.
No, there is a leadership problem. Rahul Gandhi loves to drive, but he loves backseat driving more. The point is,
that's a very good line. That's a very good line. In fact, you know, Ashutosh should respond to that. Yeah, okay, make your point.
Can I finish? Yeah. Now, this is the exact problem within the party. Sonia Gandhi is virtually retired. Priyanka Gandhi has been unemployed for the last 2.5 years. She is a general secretary without work, without portfolio. The only high command now is Rahul Gandhi and Mr. K.C. Venugopal. I keep repeating this because he's the guy taking most of the decisions. Rahul doesn't get into the nitty-gritty of party functioning or micro management or taking key decisions. This is left to others. So the point is that in such a state, the party has to be in chaos. There has to be anarchy. However one may justify it, due to whatever reasons, I don't know, but it has to be looked straight in the face, and it has to be seen exactly what is wrong.
It has to be addressed for the
now.
sake of the party, is what you're saying. But Ashutosh, respond to that one line. No. Rahul Gandhi loves to drive, but he's often seen as a backseat driver.
No, I'm really amused by her statement because if there was only two people handling the party, as Amit Shah and Narendra Modi do in BJP, we remember that video.
People here also.
So if that was happening, Kharge has been elected. Unlike Nadda, who hasn't been elected, who has been being given extensions because BJP cannot find a man who is ready to toe Amit Shah's line as Nadda does. Now, when she talks about Rahul Gandhi backseat driving and all, he is the face of the party. Everybody knows that. Malika Kharge, and he does that. He does that. That's why he is right, Mr. Mishra. That's why he is
Mallikarjun Kharge.
No. He is the political face of the party, is Rahul Gandhi. Malika Arjun Kharge is the president of the party who runs the party. And as Nikhil has
how is he running the party?
As Nikhil has pointed out, it's a collective leadership. In a collective leadership, you will see there will be differences of opinion. You will not have that I tell X to do something, he has to do it. It's my way or highway. That doesn't happen in Congress, and that's why people who have that BJP...
The point is ultimately all of this is fine if you're winning elections. If you're not winning elections for a decade, that's going to be an issue.
That till the time that BJP is winning elections, maybe the dictatorial policies of the two at the top is working. But the fact is that a lot of democracy here, but nothing is working. You're not winning elections.
That's the point.
You are back to winning elections, and the very fact that we are discussing Congress today, the very fact that we are discussing Congress today shows that Congress is on the right path. It may not have happened.
But political parties and a party that has ruled not just at the center but in so many states of India, and perhaps virtually every state has been present, that raises questions why it's not able to win elections for the last decade. It's correct. Your response.
Interesting part is, आप जो चीज बोलते हो ना, उस पे खुद पे विश्वास होना चाहिए. जब आप हाई कमांड की इतनी ब्यूटीफुल रोजी बुके ऑफ फ्लावर्स इज मेकिंग दी हाई कमांड, सबको पता रियलिटी के. Forget right now what happened to Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao after he passed away is well documented. What happened to how was the power of Dr. Manmohan Singh as a Prime Minister is well documented by people.
Okay, you can respond. Let him make his point.
No, they cannot run.
They heard you. Ashutosh, they heard you. Listen to it. He is raising questions.
Globally respected.
No, but he has right to raise questions. Allow him to make his point. You can rebut him later.
That point is not exactly valid in this point.
There are accounts by people in his team of what was the real power center. Let us be very clear. There are videos available of what was the positioning given to which leader, even while a prime minister was there who technically should head everything else. So that is all documented. Let's not waste time on that. What the reality is, even Mr. Kharge as a president has to say there is a high command, and we know the high command is... Better would be to admit it and to say how you're going to solve the problem rather than have power but no responsibility, which seems to be the trend with Congress.
Power but no responsibility, and that's the trend we've seen in the past. Respond to that, Ashutosh.
As I said, he's the political face of Congress party. That's why Congress is bouncing back. That's why Narendra Modi is borrowing his ideas, inspired by Rahul Gandhi's ideas. And I've spoken about two at least.
Which two? Maharashtra, Haryana?
Maharashtra, we all know what it's talking about. Suddenly there are 45 lakh. There are suddenly 45 lakh voters.
Where is the
point, Ashutosh? Ashutosh, all of this has been given in great detail explanation by ICI.
2024 elections.
This is a bounce back.
Okay, there was a bounce back in Lok Sabha.
Okay, there was a bounce back.
Okay, there was a bounce back. Quick response.
Can I respond to an earlier point?
Just one line counter to their argument where they talk about internal democracy between BJP and Congress. Look at last 30 years. Who has been at the helm of power in Congress? That's been Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. ठीक है, उनका ठीक है, वो उनकी पॉलिटिक्स है, बट डेमोक्रेसी कहां है? एंड लुक एट बीजेपी इन लास्ट 30 years, the leadership has changed so many times, and there would come a time.
All decided by RSS.
Okay, let me allow the question. Let me allow the question.
RSS वहां पे हम सोनिया गांधी
Let me allow that question. Even BJP is found it tough. One second, Nikhil, once again. Even BJP is finding it tough to get their President Act in order. Even they have taken quite a long time. Last several months we've been hearing President Are, but that's not happened. Why?
Absolutely. That is something that can be debated, but we know that the president would come, a president would be chosen, there would be a democratic process would be followed for that. But in Congress तो एक ही बंदा वो ले रहा है ना पिछले 30 साल से. It's just Sonia Gandhi calling the shots. And also we are talking about bounce back. 20 साल से we are saying that Rahul Gandhi is back. Rahul Gandhi is back. Where is Rahul Gandhi? What has he achieved? Like you consider going from some 50 seats to 99 seats as achievement in a democracy, then I don't know what kind of bounce back that is.
T.R. Prasad Gowda, let me bring in Congress.
BJP president would be chosen, not elected, chosen. कौन choose करेगा पता
Chosen or elected?
अदानी करेंगे,
Chosen or elected? You take back your word. You take back your words. You take back your words, Mr. Daya.
I told very clearly.
Yeah.
दोनों तरफ परिवार का problem
I think
Okay, two parivars.
the best answer has already been given in the parliament by the Home Minister Amit Shah. आपको एक परिवार से चूज करना है, आप किसी को भी चूज कर लेंगे. यहाँ पे 18 करोड़ लोगों में से किसी ने निकलना है. And when they're talking about in 2004 it was Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Lal Krishna Advani. Where are one second? Let me finish. One by one. Let's not do the limited time. There's very limited time. I just love one line. Yeah, quickly. One line. Make your point, Mr. Daya. Let's appreciate one thing. We had in 2004 supreme leader in control of the party, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Mr. L.K. Advani. Where are their families now? Not in politics. That is democracy. Having fifth or sixth or seventh generation dynasty. He has a family. He has a family.
He does not have a family. You don't allow your people to have a family. You don't allow people.
Let's not. No personal comments. No personal comments. No, one second. Let's not. Okay. Debate over. Gentlemen, completely out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Completely out of time. Ashok K.M. Gowda, T.R. Prasad Gowda, Ishkaran Bhandari, Advocate Harsh Daya, Nikhil Jain, Ashutosh Mishra and Renu Mittal completely out of time on this edition of the National Debate. Thanks so much for joining us.